Okay, we should be live again. That is looking good. Screen 2. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, that's unfortunate. There we go. Right at the edge of the range that I can actually get my second screen working. Which is a little bit awkward. But as soon as it is, there we go. Hello, Isaac. Nice to have you around again. And Jasdeep. Okay. I just need to go over and actually change something on my second screen directly because it's not okay. We should be fine now. Yeah, gonna have to do something about that. It's a very janky setup that I have, and it works okay, but I think that some improvements could definitely be made. Goals for today's stream are to try and finish off Dol Amroth, and then sort of make the plans for pushing further into Gondor. And how to deal with Gondor is an interesting one because there are certain mechanics regarding to Gondor which will impact fairly substantially what direction we choose to take with them. Whether we go westward or eastward first. A lot of that may also depend on Mordor and what they do. So we shall load into the campaign map and just see the lay of the land before we make any substantial decisions here. But I do believe that the most challenging moments of the campaign are probably behind us, unless I make some substantial missteps. I think we're in a good place. Even if we were to declare war on Mordor, I think invasions wouldn't be too much of a problem because we can build up a stack in Umbar fairly quickly, and as we've seen, invasions mean that the armies will, as the crow flies, directly to your capital, and Umbar is also a city that has access to those ballista towers as well, so it would take a force substantially bigger than the ones even that were besieging Caras-Galadon in the last campaign to actually take Umbar, I think. Hello, Kedar. Nice to see you. So, let's just have a look at the state of play before we move onwards with things. We've got these units which are heading up to reinforce Gimmelthon's stack, because at this point Gimmelthon's stack is looking a little bit light in terms of certain numbers. There are more Gondorian forces coming down here as well, albeit at this point, because Gondor are getting sieged at Minas Tirith, I really don't think they're going to be in too much of a position to actually send that much down here at all. Indeed, I think the primary problem now for us is while Gondor are getting pressured, they may actually lose a lot of this fairly quickly, which is actually a problem for us because I'd rather have some of this, but yeah, there's Tarnost over here. I mean, I wouldn't mind actually making this my front line, with an eventual front line anyway, with Mordor, where we just keep Lynn here and Tarnost. Ideally, I'd like to take Pelagia as well, which is this city here, but that may not be possible. That would also give us another place where we can train our Naaru units, because I know for a fact that we can train the Royal Guard there. But we do actually need another ballista, so we will create one of those. Yes, that's a good point actually. We had ships that we had already moved, and we were on the tail of that Alcarondas galleon. Admiral Carbazir the Great. Can we retrain any of those actually? We cannot retrain that, which is a shame. We can retrain that one, but there's not really much point in doing that. There's not really much point in retraining any of these units either. Most of it is Azra Zair. And ideally, of course, I would like these units from this ship to march with Ar-Pharazôn as he moves to Dol Amroth. So we've got some Nadu Tariq and some halberdiers, and then this gentleman here can sit in Methurist and make sure that it doesn't rebel. That sounds like a good plan to me. Umbar's making a lot of money. Speaking of making money, we need to continue your journey, which we already have. Yours already done. I think the only thing I haven't really done at this point is move units around that I intend to be aggressive with, but to be honest, I'm not sure there's much that we can be aggressive with at this point, unless there's any more units or buildings we can build, and I don't think there is. Faint Obel is... yeah, it's not that happy, is it, because of the conscription camp, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem, to be honest. Could always build a barracks here. A crop rotation's always good. A barracks of true sons. I mean, this again, look at all of this stuff that we can build. So I guess it changes from place to place what you have available to you then. Actually, no, that's just the same as it's Hashari Blades and Trollman Warriors. But we're already going to build those units elsewhere, really, so we'll go for crop rotation first. Will you do a stream on the 19th of October, Tuesday? Why'd you ask, Jasdeep? Probably not. I tend to avoid doing streams on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are a little bit tricky, generally speaking. Even aside from university, there's usually stuff I need to do on Tuesdays. It's not impossible, but I don't think that would be on the agenda. Why do you ask? Anyway, we'll save and we'll see what happens, because at this point I actually feel fairly comfortable with just sitting here, moving my units to the front line. Your birthday is on that day. That's next Tuesday, isn't it? What's the date today? Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not a terrible Dol Amroth army, that, but I think that is literally both of their remaining, like, royal family. We could regicide them, but that would be a bit more of a pain in the arse than it might be, than would be worthwhile, I think. I would rather just take Dol Amroth settlement by settlement at this point, because the road is open to us. There's only Dol Amroth and Athalon that they have remaining. I don't know if a Doomstack spawns when you take Dol Amroth. I don't believe it does. But speaking of that, actually, Gondor is a faction that works quite differently with its Doomstacks. I remembered this actually toward the end of the last stream, actually, that Gondor's Doomstacks don't spawn when they're down to 3 provinces, because they're so vast at the start of the game that would be useless to them, really, because when they're down to 3 provinces, they're already basically dead. Their Doomstacks spawn on the loss of certain settlements, and Erebor is besieged, Orthanc troubles, Rise of the Riddermark, Rohan is doing well, Breland is doing well, which is surprising, and the One Ring is in Edoras again. Mistrand is overrun, so Rune have lost to Dorwinion. But I do, like I was saying, I do know that there's a settlement that the Gondorians have in the Anfalas region that if you take it, a Doomstack spawns. And most of their Doomstacks spawn when they lose their settlements over here, of course, but there is one over here where a Gondorian Doomstack spawns, and I'm not sure which one it is. But regardless, that'll be a problem for another time, to be honest, because... Right, what is this? What have we got going on? What is that? What on earth is going on here? Just individual nonsense that's not carrying any units at all. Right, well, this is a real pain, to be honest with you, because it means I'm going to have to disembark these boys manually. I don't know, how can they build so many ships so quickly, especially Dol Amroth? They don't have any harbours left. With Gondor it's a little bit more understandable, I suppose. Right, kill this man. What is that? They've stopped. Oh, I guess they were all the ones that were blockading this port down here, and now they've decided to go this way. I mean, they're not carrying any units. It's Ethering that spawns a Doomstack. Thank you, Uriel. I think that might be this one here as well, which is kind of annoying because that's right on the warpath, so to speak. But I mean, we could just follow the coast and then sort of snake back on ourselves, skirting the White Mountains. We'll see. That's something that we can decide upon later. Good. Oh yeah, that'll be an easy fight with reinforcements. And we can probably make... yeah, we can. This will be an absolute slaughter. Where else shall we go? It's probably worth our time actually to have one of our navies down in the south anyway. And I think we are already... no, we're not building any ships here. We were building ships somewhere, weren't we? Was it Tolfalas? No, I guess it must have just been Baradhan. Well, anyway. Maybe, it depends if we can get away with moving away from Methrust. Oh, see, that's so cheap. We can upgrade the stronghold here as well, which is not bad. Oh, we can build Amrothian squires and seaward spearmen. This should get rid of the negative consequences of the other thing we had. So I'm actually going to go for that, because then we can move on without feeling too concerned about the situation. Right, you start crossing the river. Starting at Long Gallon, working way east might work well. Or Thorongost, or whatever the Andrast castle is called. Well, I mean, isn't this Long Gallon? I mean, we'd get here, and then going back east doesn't make a lot of sense. We'd have to go, we'd continue west. I mean, this is where we would stop, obviously, because this is where... although Enedwyth sound like they're dying, so... that's not brilliant. Right, you... trade rights, and I'll give you some map information. I don't care about making money from Rohan, I just want a good relationship with them. Okay, good. Mission success. Ah, good. A little bit of extra cash. Maybe it's worth my time to get some good relations with Bree, actually, as well, because if they expand south, wild as it may sound, we might actually need Bree to be on side. Rockburg, under Rohirrim control. Yes, Thorongost is... or how do you say that? Tharagondrost is this one here, isn't it? Which, yeah. I mean, this part of Gondor is fine for us. I mean, this is obviously the most lucrative area, but we're never going to beat Mordor to all of this at this point. So, no sense in worrying about that. Right, I'm curious. If we just leave some depleted units... I mean... that's faction heir, and that's just a general, okay. I don't really want to siege Dol Amroth with a stack that's as poor as that. But we can actually build more units here anyway, so I mean, what are we even concerned about? We can pretty much move out immediately, and then next turn all of this stuff will spawn in here regardless. So... that cavalry is absolutely worthless. It's at the tip. Well, Enedwyth have that then, and I've got no interest really in going after Enedwyth. I mean, we've got enough enemies at our door. Right, so that's unhappy, but that's not too surprising because I bet it's on military build policy by default. Yes, it is. How about growth? Yeah, it's still not liking that, is it? Okay, well, how about if we put Gimmelcard back in there? We'll leave this army out here, because to be honest, even without a general, if these boys come and attack us, we should probably be okay. We'll see. We'll leave them outside the settlement, but in reinforcement range. That I think is the sensible move. Right, which is our stronger fleet? This one's got more chevrons on it. The other one, however, I think can move further, can't it? Right, we can't get into dock, but we can start moving southwards with... I guess you can start moving south. You can just nestle yourself in there. Ooh, hello. Perfect. Don't mind if I do. And let's see if we can't quite get into dock, but no matter. And then we'll get into here as well. And I think we're going to be building stuff here actually, so an armourer probably does make a good amount of sense. So let's build one. And that'll do. With some conscript units we can move forward and try and take Dol Amroth by sieging it down. Hello Dill, when new vid, Senna? Saturday. There will be another video. I don't think I can tell friend. Well, to be fair, Windy, like telling friend from foe is probably pretty difficult when I'm building the same units as they are now. Got some Gondorian boys on the production line. Dol Amroth will soon follow. And Ar-Adunaim. It's a really good mechanic. I like that. It's probably my favourite part about the Ar-Adunaim, to be honest, because while they obviously have a few gaps in the sense that they have very limited cavalry, and generally speaking they're obviously a heavy infantry and heavy archer faction, and everything that's not that, they obviously have a few gaps higher up. They really are intent on retaking Lynn here, aren't they? Even though they're getting eaten alive by Mordor. It is quite bizarre. Gondor sets out to reclaim Minas Tirith, so yes. The Gondorian Doomstack over near Minas Tirith has spawned. There is another army. Right, can we make it there? I don't think we can we? That bloody label, it's like the most awkward thing. Right, I don't think we can actually get into the settlement, but these armies are trash anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Okay. Blockading us with one boat even though we have a mighty fleet. 500 IQ. You've truly outdone yourself. Oh, those boats are terribly undermanned. Absolute scenes of glorious emotion. Ugh. We need a general over here so bad. Is there anyone we can move quickly? Because with all of this junk that's coming down here, it's actually much more difficult to move this guy up north. And ooh, we should probably build that. A large bazaar as well. Mariners of the fleet. Well, is there anything we actually want to build units wise? I mean, yeah, I guess we need more boats. We just need more everywhere. Right, Nobel is actually, that's a good point. One thing that I was going to do that I recall now was this. There we go. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Oh, you're kidding me, right? That's better. Kadar Farazon. And maybe we can think of a name for Nobel as well. Any capital city we take, we should dedicate to some great Númenórean. Gimmelcard probably has his eyes on Minas Tirith being that for him. But maybe we can dedicate Dol Amroth to Gimel Zor, considering he's been largely responsible for our victories in the Belfalas region. Right. You all is this? Ooh, you're actually pretty depleted at this point. Can we retrain, perhaps? Nope. But we don't really need to. This... yeah. Easy. That's less easy. Do we have boats? We do. Let's build some. Crop rotation. There's no real need to build units down here though, because we're not really going to be... ideally we want to be using our navy to transport stuff from Umbar. Right. I'm going to start moving stuff from here into Methrast. No, we'll keep Gimmelzor here. Right. You three. You embark? There we go. What does Kadar mean again? Yes, city. I actually looked it up, so I think Kadar Pharazon translates literally to City of the Golden One in the Númenórean language, which is pretty cool. I think Gimmelcard as well, wherever he is. Gimmelcard translates to Stargazer, I think, or Star something. Which is, again, pretty neat. Right, we got some good ships. And... right, do we really need all of this stuff here? Probably not. So you four can actually join as well. And you can all... right, so they can't get off for the moment, but no worries. There's not really much left that we can spend that money on either. Retraining? Nope. No matter. City of the Stargazer is a pretty decent name as well, if that's what Gimmelcard's name translates to. It's Star something. Which I guess is where his son's names come from as well. Dol Amroth means Amroth's tip in Sindarin, right? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not as clued up on the languages, really. I just sort of see bits and pieces here and there. That's a... the Cornered Dragon. Okay, so Rune have got their Doomstack. Nazgul return to Dol Guldur. The Goblins have retaken Moria, presumably with their Doomstack. Everyone's getting all of their fun toys. Look at this, Captain Falkwind. That's a huge Rohirrim army. Right, what is... why do you continue to just send individual boats after me? Right then. And let's see how much it takes to actually make this place happy. Or is it just a case of governance? More units for you. You in there. Wow. Is it because it's gone to military? Yeah, again, why military build policy? It's just a terrible, terrible idea. Right then. Again, look at all these Gondorian ships. How have they managed to afford all of this garbage? They're being eaten alive as we speak. Go back into dock. Just need more ships, I guess. As frustrating as that may be. And... right, barracks. So this gives us access to what? No, this Khaldoon. This... army barracks gives us access to our really good stuff. Yeah, there it is. Look, that's what we want. Our Pharazon's Faithful. It's fairly pricey, and we should probably think about building something like this first. Yeah, we'll go with that. Everywhere else, you in there. That is a pretty trashy army, to be honest with you. But needs must. Why is Khaldun unhappy now? Is it because the port's being blockaded or something? Cultural build policy. How about growth? Weird. Anyway. Maybe it is just worth our time to get Gimmelzor over there. Will Tolflas be unhappy if I do? He'll be content. Okay. Just one Aesul. Right, well, they can't retake Methras while we're doing this. How have they managed to get over here? They've managed to literally circumvent the bridge. How does that make any sense? Okay, well... yeah, let's go for that. We don't have any generals, but this will... we've got elite units, we'll be fine. That Gondorian Doomstack, I think I just saw it, and I think it's coming down here. Why'd you change Umbar's name? Because it's more fitting. Right, okay, so we're the attackers here, technically speaking. So I think one of the enemy reinforcement forces actually is coming from this direction though, isn't it? So we can get into a good position. Right. We will just... we've got a good skirmishing force. We've got some Narun Aru units. We've got some Ar-Adunaim, which can back them up. Halberdiers on the front line. I've got no idea why the general is with the Azra Zaire, but that's just how it goes, I suppose. Right. I think we will actually pull you back over here. Yeah. So this is where they are at. Let's see. Over there. Okay, yeah, they're coming in this way. Pretty hard. And we can relieve them there. Hello, Stefan. Gondor Cavalry Militia, Gondor Archers. Okay. Interesting choice. Hold on, what have they actually got over here? Because it was a smaller army, wasn't it? This is, I think, Territorial Guardsmen, isn't it? Or is that actually... no, that is, yeah. A catapult and a ballista. Wow, all of that is actually their artillery. Okay. Well, that actually makes life way easier because we can actually use our Narun Aru Royal Knights to extremely good effect then. And we can also bring you lot back down here. This isn't my first rodeo, Jackson. Yeah, there we go. Marvellous. Yeah, the Narun Aru Royal Knights are really, really cool. The Narun Aru in general, I just like the golden colour scheme of them. An enlightened move by the enemy once again to just sort of try and bulldoze through. One of them did make it through. I find it really perplexing that the enemy decide to do this with their archers as well. It's just really weird. Yeah, you can stay back. Javelins coming in. Marvellous. You can go in there as well. Right then. There's one Gondorian unit there. I guess you can hack him down. Honor, victory, and glory. Okay. That'll be fine. This army was always meant to come and reinforce Lynn here anyway. Yeah, they're finished. Armor piercing going to be incredibly useful, so we will now focus instead on cavalry business. There are spears here, so we do need to be a little bit cautious. But again, if we can just get into that ballista, that will be real good. Okay. Now you may leave. Yeah, I don't know. I found it in like a fan-made dictionary, and Gimmelcard was there. I just can't remember what exactly it was. I just remember it was Star something. Star Gatherer sounds pretty cool though. This is going about as well as you would expect for them. I know that the Númenóreans didn't really use cavalry all that much, but maybe they should, given the look of these guys with their sort of black steeds and gold trimmed armour. Right. Go after them. I'm not entirely sure what the halberdiers are doing, but we will just move them like that so our general doesn't die. Yeah, it does sound like a bit of a Silmaril kind of thing. Yeah, that's them gone, and then go directly into the catapult. As a general rule in like Total Wars, like the lance or spear wielding cavalry is generally much better in campaigns and stuff, because you can micro where the AI can. But in a situation like this, it is nice to know that like the Royal Knights are going to be just real good at killing off those poor catapult crewmen. It is very noticeable though, the difference in the damage that our archers do in comparison to the Lorien ones. Star-Lord. Well, I mean it makes a certain amount of sense. How are we losing men to an actual, like, band of peasants pushing a wooden contraption? This is why melee cavalry in Total War is always such a waste of time, because you can't even trust them to do that without not really living up to their potential. Well, yeah, I suppose, Val. I mean, the Rosadans don't do that much damage, but they're good as a bowman because they're like really good at trading with other archers, which is what I was lacking as Lorien, to be honest. That was the one thing Lorien didn't do all that well against Isengard. Right, see if you can't get a decent charge in this time. Our general isn't in the Azrazair, he is in the Royal Knight, so it's nice that that's the case at least. Right, this time they're getting up to charge speed. They do need to get out of there pretty quick because of the spears. Not the easiest thing to retrain either, because we need to take Pelagia to retrain this unit. It's nice to not have to require the... What are they doing? How are they getting slaughtered? Just pull out of there, would you? They still actually have the catapult online, which is a little bit disconcerting. Yeah, you would expect cavalry though to be the area where the Númenóreans maybe don't have the edge. But I mean, these guys are perfectly serviceable, I would say. As just they're a much tankier option to me than the Southron Lancers I've been having to use up to now. Right, I'm kind of just hoping that we manage to charge enough to kill off the catapult crew there. I think we probably managed it. Okay, good. And it's looking pretty promising. I think all of the crew died there. Well, there's 2 left. But I think at this point, to be honest, we don't... I think they're abandoning their posts. What I really want is some Ar-Adunaim armsmen and some Ar-Pharazon's faithful to join the party. Speaking of swordsmen though, the Narduzagar's presence would be very useful over here. And the Royal Knights can actually think about crossing the bridge so we can mop up the entirety of these armies. Ow. You're joking, right? Oh, well, okay. Thought they charged their crew forwards, but the AI's hate boner for javelins continues. Yeah. Cataphracts. Cataphract is like Rune's thing, isn't it? Then the Variags. Yeah, they charge in there. Got high hopes for my Narduzagar here. It should be exactly the sort of fight where they are very, very good.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Defeat seems certain for them. Marvellous. And we're chasing everything down.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Lynn here lives to fight another day. With some substantially better soldiers.
Cowardly foe.
Now we've got to continue.
It's time to press the attack.
And okay, there's only 4 of them remaining, so go after them instead. Excellent. A lot of this army was made up of very basic units anyway, but actually catch all of these guys? I think they probably will, actually, now that I look at it like that.
This is a clear victory.
Yeah. Just what we wanted to see. Hello, Jurgen. Black Numenorian style cataphracts probably would look pretty cool, like sort of really dark grey or black metal with like sort of gold trim. I think yeah, the Spear Malice is still here in DAC because it's an intrinsic part of Med 2, but it's less apparent, certainly. Right, now we've got reinforcements right there. Do we want to attack that army? What is it? Oh god, yeah, that is trash. In fact, we can probably get away with just fighting this one as well. Do you plan on using merchants? Yeah, I've got a merchant. The problem is, like, you train them in Umbar, and the useful tiles for merchants are 1,000 miles away from Umbar. Like, you have the Hobbit stuff in the west, you have the mines in the Misty Mountains, you have the vineyards in Dorwinion. So it's a little bit awkward. Right. They do have artillery, so we do need to be a little wary, but that's exactly what our Royal Knights are going to be ideal at facing down. This is a solid front line now, though. 2 Ar-Adunaim units, and those halberds got absolutely wrecked on that bridge, though, for some reason. And these guys can be at the back. Where's that? Yeah, they're going to try and move backwards, probably. Yeah, there they go. They'd be much better off if they just stood their ground, to be honest, but... such is the AI's prerogative, I suppose. Well, actually... they are just standing there. Farmhand pikemen are not going to be enough to save them, though. Want to be careful with... if we can... it's very risky, but I think it is ultimately worth our while to charge on in here to get them to move. Oh, that was such a weak charge. I never learned my lesson. Medieval 2 cavalry is not very responsive. Right, shoot at them. We'll go up and around. Definitely known the AI to pick up worse formations than this, I'll say that. You want to take this fight with me? Okay, let's go. That should be a remarkably easy fight for my Royal Knights. I can't wait for the Gondor Cavalry Militia to roll over them like they're not there. Let's just avoid the farmhand pikemen entirely. I said avoid them, don't charge right into them. But, you know, feel free to ignore me. Okay, good. The Royal Knights are actually doing the business. Yeah, but if you were going by like real life stuff, Val, like most units would just be spears, and it would be a a fight where people clumsily bumped into one another. So it wouldn't actually be all that entertaining to watch, to be honest, or play.
Like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yeah, they're going to get shredded by those archers good and proper. Yeah, good. Okay, I didn't want them in melee, but... Okay. Could be better, but could be worse. We've got our whole army in the city that is untouched as a result of this. So I'm not too bothered. Yeah, just charge in there. Try and break them. Hello, Angel. They are routing off.
The enemy general lies dead.
Right, that'll be the end of him. I like the shields on the Naru as well, especially in this mod. Gold emphasis. I keep firing at them. They are back.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
And yeah, everything is going well. They'll rout immediately as soon as they charge in. The Lamadon are actually getting out of there, so... Sorry, our cavalry is going to... I mean, the chevrons that we get on these guys is going to rack up very quickly. I started watching the Lothlorien campaign. The Lothlorien campaign was... it was a tough one. I would say that in the Lothlorien campaign throughout it, Isengard probably... There has been an example of an AI faction giving me a tougher time in a Total War game, and that was the Iko Iki in Shogun 2. But definitely in Medieval 2 and its many iterations, Isengard have taken that prize away following that campaign. Ah, they're back. Oh, well, actually, seeing as that's the case, we don't want spearmen doing anything to our cavalry. We're going to the clansmen instead. Are they... Oh, they're still actually... Amazingly enough, they did not rout when approaching those Rosadan. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely want to finish all of them off in their entirety. Fortunate son. Black Numenorians and the Faithful both use the same flag during the sinking. I kind of want to make a video on the Lord of the Rings series, actually. The more that I think about it, the more that I think I do actually have enough to say that it would actually make for a video that's worth making. I'll probably wait for a little bit more information to come out about it, but I think I can talk about it with enough information that it's actually worth doing. There we go. Gondor's Doomstack may be on the way, but with units of this quality I don't have too much. I don't understand why you'd want to follow Melkor, to be honest. Like, it seems a little bit... I know that Sauron manipulated them and such, but like, when you see what Melkor's like vision for the world is, it's not amazing when you think about it. Can we Right, you... Wait, this is... Okay, that's actually garrisoned. Yeah, actually, I know what we'll do. We will send you over here, and we will... Right, so we've got a fair few units here, actually. You go over there because you're depleted. Units that are not as useful, we will relegate to the fort. So... we need 3 more units in the fort, actually. We're going to have a decent army here, indeed. You fort. And... okay, so we need 1 more unit going over there, so I guess it has to be you. You in there. That's now a good army indeed. And yeah, we've got some good forces now. We don't have a lot of money. There's still these units here as well, which to be honest aren't doing a whole lot. I think they are actually keeping Barad-Han happy though, so we should probably keep them there. Rebellions are certainly not what we want at the moment. Right, and we're still building up a force or a fleet to go this way. You all. Can you... okay. We'll see what happens. All we need is to get a general into Methras so that it doesn't immediately... well, to be fair, actually, after 2 turns, the Barracks of True Sons will probably be enough to stop that from happening. Dol Amroth have still got boats, which is crazy to me. Yeah, the Black Numenorians, they actually... didn't they, like, abduct people and then, like, bring them to Armenelos and burn them alive? Which is pretty grisly. That is Gondor's Doomstack, and they do appear to actually be going the right way as well, which is gratifying to see. The fact that they aren't saying, you know what, we've lost Minas Tirith, but I think Lynn here is more important to us. I think that's where we need to go. Fornost is assaulted, so Ered Luin joining the evil side has probably harmed them pretty substantially. Got a lot of blockades going on now. Oh dear, oh dear. You're embarrassing yourself now. A ship with 9 people on it would barely be sailable. Right, that... right, what do we want to do exactly? Oh, that's something I could have killed actually a while back. Excellent. We'll go this way with you as well. We'll start sailing you up here. Yeah, we'll go for him. We've got chevrons. There we go. Excellent. We're getting some decent cash through now. Why is Khaldun not happy? I built them a fountain. That should surely be that's the prerequisite for being happy, right? That's a little bit bizarre. We're not really going to be building much more here, if I'm being honest, but what's the oh, I see, okay. Yeah. We need that. Units that we can build here. Probably don't want to be building those units here actually. What we want to be doing is building stuff up this way. Right, okay. Get some more of these conscripted units in there. Right, we can have 1 more from this army in there as well, which I think should probably be... we'll go for the Marines actually, because that'll give us some nice AP punch. And then we will do this. Methrast will be unhappy for now. We'll go for him. Ooh. Could have a bit of an interesting fight on our hands there if they decide to come out of Dol Amroth, but it would make the capture of Dol Amroth itself rather... good. We can retrain you, and we can train... Gondor Cab Militia would be nice. We'll train another black ship, I think, and then navy-wise we should be good to leave it as it is. Okay. And I think that will be that. The Morroquendi. Stuff like the Morroquendi is always quite interesting to me. Like the sort of lesser mentioned peoples, like Dorwinian fall into this category as well, which, you know, Morroquendi are often attributed to that part of the world. So it's always quite interesting when you sort of see these sort of lesser talked about groups explored a little bit more. I always find it quite interesting. They've moved some of their garrison out of there. I wonder if they put it on a boat. Ugh, another siege. Sure. Oh, what is this? Come on. Be sensible here. This is, I think, I think, one of Gondor's doom stacks. Just looking at the composition of it, and they're like, you know what, Minas Tirith? Nah, we don't need it. Lynn here, on the other hand, a settlement that makes nearly 300 coins a turn. We can't let that fall into enemy hands, boys. Honestly. Right, we'll go with that, because we can grow this place up, and then we will... Right, well, first things first. Ooh, we can draw them out onto the field, I think. Yes, we can draw them out onto the field. Right, this could be a little bit dicey, but we have a lot of range. We also have a lot of fully upgraded entry-level Gondorian units, which we can take a look at. Yeah, wasn't Gothmog a I thought Gothmog was a Balrog. Unless you mean like the lumpy orc that was named after him in the movie. I thought Gothmog was one of the fire spirits. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be very easily wrong. Oh boy, this is a very foresty map. Okay, well, I feel pretty good about skirmishing with Dol Amroth with our Rosadan, and actually, you know what, we're gonna go for a couple of groups of archers. Right, so we'll go for a unit of archers here, and then a detachment of them here as well. Azrazair will be in a flanking force, which I will sort of tentatively put over on this side with a bunch of axemen. Right, hold on a moment. There we go. So we'll put them over here for now, but we could move them later. Front line. Actually, let's have a little look at some of these Gondorian units before we send them into the meat grinder in the colour of the King's Men. So we've got the red and the blacks coming in more instead of the whites and silvers that Gondor is known for. I think they look much more menacing, which is perhaps the idea. And yeah, so we need you in here. Azrazair Raiders. You can just be a free unit that can be committed wherever you are needed. You can actually go over there. Over there. You there. And I think that's it. Actually, no, we still have a unit of... well, we have our Southron Lancers, which is not bad.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Right then. Okay, so they are going to, I think, just charge right up the pipe here, which is a little bit disconcerting. But let's see what we can do here. If they want to just stand in front of my archers and get shot, I will accept that, to be honest. Territorial guardsmen will be useful. Haven't actually fought Dol Amroth as Dol Amroth's cavalry force in the open field like this yet, really. Yeah, go after the Ithelian Rangers as well. Spears on the flank. Ar-Adunaim, I guess, can move forward. It's a little bit... Most of this army is actually cav, which is a little bit of a problem, to be honest with you, because it means that I'm going to have to try and whittle them down as best as I can. This is a little bit of a strange choice. Okay. Azrazair warriors. And okay, Ithelian Rangers. Yeah, we're going to have to get into the Pinnoth Galens with our Southron Lancers, which is not ideal by any means, but yeah, a lot of our units over here are swordsmen, which is a little bit of a concern. Right, hold on a moment. Going to be important to get you're on this side, aren't you, Gimmelcard? Okay, so yeah, you're not likely to be throw javelins in there. We do take Dol Amroth automatically, I think, though, if we are successful here. There's those boys. Yeah, okay. Ar-Adunaim. Seaward Lancers. Don't know how much damage they're actually going to do here. Okay. Axe boys go around the side because your armor piercing going to be real useful. Actually, yeah, territorial guardsmen, you go back there like that. Gondor militia, you just hang out, I guess. The reinforcements are so far away, though, it is a good reason to believe we're probably going to be okay. Our Southron cavalry is just not up to the task, really, of facing those kinds of units. Okay. Right. I think they're going to try and get out of there. They are, but they're going to take a lot of losses in the doing. Okay. Get back behind the spear lines. Yeah, they're going to lose as well. Spears doing the work that we need them to. Azrazair Raiders performing the role of being a lovely tar pit. Southrons, yeah, go after them. Okay. facing off against Dol Amroth's cavalry on the open field is a little bit nerve-wracking, to be honest with you, because they've only used them really inefficiently so far. But okay, javelin boys in behind the lines. I am reading the chat, don't worry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't... Territorial guardsmen and Azrazair warriors. Yeah, okay, you keep going after them. These axemen can go over here. Gimel card, you can actually move forwards as well. Lebanon Marines. Okay, they're still firing. You can move over there. Dol Amroth's cav is just so beefy. The Tirithea Wardens are there as well. Okay. See what they do here. Marines of the Azrazair. Hope so. Where did they go? Okay, yeah, they're over there. There's still more cav on the way in as well, as if that was... and Royal Swan Guard. That's less great. Oh yeah, you go in there.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Warriors are on the way across. Lebanon Marines are nearly here. Okay, yeah, fire at them actually. Okay, yeah, all of the territorial guardsmen I think are going to be enough to ultimately give us the result we do want. Right, they need to move forward. I don't know why they weren't already moving forward, to be honest. And you... Haven Guard we definitely want to be shooting at. That's them broken. Seaward Lancers are broken. Right, okay, with that actually we need to get back into a defensive shape. Ooh, actually... yeah, they're going to come after us, so charge into them. It's less than ideal, this, because we've got units that we really cannot afford to be losing cheaply. But, okay. Yeah, now we need to just be aggressive, I think. These units push forward this way. Amrothian Squires. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Right. Okay. Gondor Militia, Gondor Militia. Yeah, okay. Everyone needs to do their bit on the front line now. Knights of Tirithea. Yeah, you shoot at them actually, because they got damaged pretty substantially there, but Amrothian Squires. The Royal Swan Guard are in there. Okay. All of this Dol Amroth cav. There's more of it still back there. Right, we need the militia forwards because they need to be doing bits on the front line. The Athelian Rangers came back from routing because, of course, they did. Oh boy, this is really painful. Units coming back from routing is going to be possibly something that does us in here, to be honest, because there's nothing we can do. Okay, we'll take you off the front line then. Amrothian squires at least shouldn't have too many issues. Yeah, a lot of our units just aren't up to the challenge here, which is a bit unfortunate. Territorial guardsmen, you get back into some sort of actual shape, and you engage with your whole unit, not just with the front ranks. Maybe they don't have enough, I don't know. Finneth Galen Cav. It's this part of the line I'm worried about. Okay, yeah, they're leaving, like the cowards they are. Right, we need to use our general really to guard our back lines. Hey Tancred. Yeah, I have been paying attention to what's going on. I'm not completely blind to it, but not really a good idea to start weighing in when situation is looking as contested as it is. I think, yeah, this is the part of the line I'm really concerned about, but it's the back lines that we are just... Dol Amroth's cavalry is just really annoying to deal with. Like when cavalry charges headlong into like spears and halberds, I expect it to die, not just like sort of go, that stung a little bit. Even areas where we're overloading the lines, we're not really doing the business at this point. Come on, route. You know you want to. Oh, for Christ's sake. Where'd they come from? Could have sworn we routed these guys about 10 minutes ago. Yep, and they're doing no damage either, the javelins. There's still Royal Swan Guard in here. 19 Royal Swan Guard.
Only half our force remains.
Right. If you say so. I'm not convinced myself. I have a funny feeling that those Royal Swan Guard could rout my entire army. How are they not routing yet either? Right, that should rout them surely. They're in there with spears. They're still alive. Right, sod it. We're just getting Gimmelcard on the front line. That cavalry back there is finished, really. What are they doing? Can we rout them? How does victory seem certain for them? They're the lowest tier of Dol Amroth cavalry. Oh yeah, we're probably finished, I think. There's nothing we can do against Royal Swan Knights if they can survive in a blob with halberds. That's crazy. Right, finally, some actual routing. I swear everyone's got like as close to locked morale as you can get in this game. we have actual spears in here? Are you actually going to rout this time? No, they're going to die though, which is gratifying at least. Boy oh boy.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
I keep saying that, and like this Haven Guard is continuing to not die at all. How did Dol Amroth afford all of this stuff? They're on their knees financially. And they're back again. This is going to be a reload, I can tell. This is unbelievable. Ugh, this game has a quite remarkable talent for ruining my mood.
Our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Get onto the front line. Get over here.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
It's like they're moving through treacle, my units, at this point.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
All infantry is vulnerable to artillery, Jackson, because it kills everything in one hit. In fact, I would say Dol Amroth as a faction are probably better equipped to deal with artillery because they've got the movement to go around your lines. Yeah, those Amrothian squires have taken, again, virtually no casualties. I mean, to the Azra Zaire I can understand, but not to the Rosadan bowmen. See, victory still seems certain for them. What is this nonsense? They're actually surrounded. Right, yeah, I'm reloading this. This is absolutely ridiculous. What sort of cavalry doesn't die when it charges into spears and halberds? It's crazy. Damn right you're disgraced. Can't even kill basic Dol Amroth units. Crispy Skywalker. I like that name. Hello there. Right then.
Yes, my lord.
That is an ambush army. Look how many men they just trained in Dol Amroth as well. They have 2 provinces remaining. 2. Hey there, Kenobi. Right, we're going back to Methrast. This is going to be another one of those situations where the game is just intent on slowing me down. At least they're going that way. Oh my god. They're so annoying. They're so annoying.
The enemy has surrounded us. We are besieged. Honor.
Right, okay, so we couldn't go that way. Fine.
Muster your courage, men.
I don't mind killing you here.
Battle.
Well, we have the hill. That's nice. And they technically are the attackers. So you'd hope that they actually come towards us and we can hold a shape instead of just getting minced by their cavalry. Right. They go in a group. Javelins, whose javelins do virtually no damage at all to any armoured units. So what exactly is the point of you? Right, okay, spears, all in one group. I think that's all we have spear-wise, isn't it? And then shock infantry. And then I guess just you back here as well. Right then. I highly doubt that. The Reforged campaign is... Development on Reforged in general has been quite slow lately. So I would highly doubt the campaign would be ready anytime soon. That's everyone? Okay. Yeah, maybe one day. Right. What the hell are you doing? And... okay. No, yeah, I know, Turin, but sometimes, like, the, I know there's percentages that, determine that. But, it differs from Total War to Total War. Right, hold on a second. You go there. You two can go here. This army doesn't have tons and tons of cavalry. Seaward Footman does have Royal Swan Guard though, and Lasarnak Axeman. Gondor probably won't have access to Lasarnak for that much longer. they're going to get absolutely destroyed off the charge by a unit of SWAN guard. I expect this unit to die quickly because it charged into spears and axemen and didn't really get a very good charge off at all. Just get into melee. Useless. Absolutely useless. What are you doing? Why get pulled into melee there? They're still alive as well. Here we go. I'm gonna demolish my entire army, I bet. Right, you can go this way. As can you, just because I need more garbage in the way. Well, how about that cavalry actually perished this time instead of being seemingly invulnerable? Again, look at this. Evenly matched, my left and right. Alright. You go that way, you hunt them down, you go this way. Oof. Right. Hunt them down, would you? Still says the balance of forces is evenly matched and that victory is a possibility in some parts of the line. We'll see how the game feels when I have a few bow volleys in there. And when their general dies, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's fairly obvious at this point that this isn't going to be sufficient. Open field against Dol Amroth is just a big no-no, because the cavalry can just shrug off cavalry counters. Right, that should be the end of them now. Fully surrounded like that, you would expect more from my units.
Only half the enemy force remains.
The ones that are fighting uphill have got a thicker line, Jackson. They're much less likely to fall apart than the units that are only 1 or 2 ranks deep. Dol Amroth are also pushing that way, not downwards. And a reserve force of what exactly? Everything I had was committed. What Total War game is my favourite? You'd have to go with Med 2, wouldn't you? I think. There have been some good ones though. I'm a big fan of Shogun. I do like the Warhammer games as well. Shogun 2, that is. Never played Shogun 1. Right, okay, that's enough of that. Right, there we go. Good. The map really suited us there. Do I think Medieval 3 Total War is a possibility? Not recent, not for like the near future. I think the problem that they have there is people would have certain expectations for Medieval 3, and Creative Assembly are not that company anymore. Kill them all. Right then. Could we perhaps ambush here? No? No ambush for me? I guess not. Well, regardless, we'll just go over here then. And we shall build recruitment hubs over here. Well, first things first, actually, we need a stronghold. And bloody auto management. Military build policy, my... Right, there we go. Now, Territorial Guardsmen, definitely. More cavalry militia probably wouldn't be go amiss either, but we need more units just immediately, I think. Right, so we got those against a general. I think we might be alright there actually. We got crossbows. All of the units are fairly depleted. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, that's a good point. This bunch of units. Definitely kill that. Yeah, let's kill them. They're all so depleted. Hey Calvin, how are you doing? Yeah, that's what people would expect, Crispy, and that's not the company that CAR anymore. I guess we can't combine those two, that's a bit of a shame. We shall, I guess, move over here with you then and embark you. And then start sailing you up this way. What is this? Will you indeed? Right. Tolfalas. This is going to be another recruitment hub. So it probably makes sense actually that we finally build the garrison quarters after this, because we can then start building Rosadan units on the front, which we could probably have done with a little while back, to be honest. Yes, Crispy, that's the idea. How we go about that rather depends on what Mordor do, what Enedwaith do, and what Rohan do. Ideally, myself and Rohan will go against Mordor, but that depends on whether they like me enough after I've gutted their closest ally. Well, Mordor's technically doing most of the heavy lifting on that. Gondor are just sort of throwing armies at me wastefully, really, because I've got no intent on expanding further inwards against against Gondor now, anyway. Okay. Balance of power not looking good for us. In fact, well, let's see what we can do. Why not? We'll see if we can't kill the general at least. Do they get another doom stack when they lose Dol Amroth? That's a real pain in the ass if they do. Wait, isn't this a ballista castle? I believe it is, isn't it? What mic am I using? It's a blue snowball. Right, you stay down here like... Hello? Do you want to, do what I tell you? There you go. I knew you had it in you. Right, Azrazair Raiders. You go there. Warriors. Everyone else is going to be coming through the gate, so we will get you two in. And I think that's pretty much all we have, isn't it? We don't have a lot, but I mean, if we've got ballista towers, we should be fine, actually. No, they're arrow towers. Okay, we probably are dead then. We'll see. It's going to be difficult. Not impossible, but very, very tricky. Well, actually, one thing that I think I might be able to do here, interestingly... No, that's not what I want from you. I think the only way that we can really go about doing some business here... And that's the Gondor Spearmen. What I want to do is leave a gap so that we can shoot into the sides with our ranged units, but I don't think. Jackson, there is no second layer. I appreciate that you want to sort of help out, but like it's... This is the fortress with... Like there's these here, but these are more choke points. I'd be making my life more difficult by retreating behind them. I do think the Doom Stack mechanic is a little bit too played out in DAC. I think it should just be a case of one serious Doom Stack and then they're done. Other than maybe Gondor, because they find themselves in such a horrid situation right at the start. But yeah, I think there's probably a little bit too much of it in the game. Questionable for me. I understand that they kind of need it to be that way to make it challenging, otherwise it's too easy, but there are ways of doing that, I think, without it seeming cheap. I mean, we're going to lose this battle, it's fairly obvious, but... Yeah, in fact, we'll get some crossbows shooting into those spearmen immediately. Didn't really care that much about this fort, to be honest, in the first place. It's just annoying to have another unit. Yeah, they're going to go right in. God damn. Oh yeah, I got these guys. Can move them down. Azra Zaire Raiders though, so they're not going to do much if we're being honest. Why are you banking your shots? You've got a clear shot and you're ballooning them up into the air. Okay, so they should come down here. Ah, that's a shame. At least they've got a straight shot now. Or at least they would if they weren't so slow. I mean, the towers are doing damage, but it's not going to be enough. If these were ballista towers, we probably would have already won. Such is their strength. Only half? That kind of surprises me. Wonder if I could kite them around and let the arrow towers do the business. It's tempting.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Okay.
Our general
There goes our general. Our poor captain. No, they're not going to get away now anyway. The more arrows we can get from these towers before the end comes.
our enemies have snatched victory.
Yeah.
Like thieves in the
Well, that's more losses than they would have taken had we not fought that. I think what bothers me the most about the AI in this game is they will constantly prioritise you, even though, like, Mordor is defeating Gondor. They are hollowing out the very core of their realm, and they're still like, no, we need to take this one town. Just this one. It's the most important one. Not too worried about Lynn here, though. We should be okay with it. You still have that army, don't you? Okay. Let's go this way with you. Can you join this navy? No, you can't. That's a shame. There we go. Marvellous. All of their ships are all damaged. I don't understand why that would be the case, but... Right, okay. We finally have another general over here. So we should be able then to leave him here, and that should be enough then to... Oh yeah, we need to finish them off as well. Farming experience for our ships, if nothing else. Okay, okay. Tolfalas. Armour is nearly complete, which means we can then queue up something else there. Right, Khaldun. You're still not pleased at all. But why? I've done so much for you. Public baths. No, you know what? You can remain mad. Yes, that would be worth it. Fein Nobel. Merchant's Wharf is bugged, so there's no point in it. Shipwright might be worthwhile. Did we not build the Barracks of True Sons here? So does that not mean we get access to some actual good stuff? Or apparently not. Maybe we build it here then. Sure, why not? Not that they'll ever get to the front line because of the naval stuff. I can't for some reason. Some navies just refuse to group together. So I just have to have them in several... I need several navies anyway because they keep... right, okay, so what we want to do is park you on the road over here. And then we'll follow with another army next turn. Okay. Interesting to see what Gondor does here. They're going to go that way, which is completely unsurprising to me. So we'll build a couple more units of you. And do we have an armory there? We do. Okay, so that should be enough actually to stop a force like that. Okay. I really want to take Dol Amroth this stream. I don't want no progress at all to be made. They're leaving. Interesting. Admirals with stars can't combine. Fair enough. The game crashes every time you try to play it. Medieval 2 can be a bit of a... most people have got computers that can run it, but Medieval 2 itself is a little bit fickle these days. Right, come on, Mordor. Rip Gondor apart, for crying out loud. I'm tired of them sending stacks down here. Here we go again. You're not going to win. Like, it's my town now. You had your chance for peace. Sure. Mission failed. To the Dunlanders. Construction complete in Tolfalas. How nice. Right, you in there. Most of the rest of you. Let's see how much we can get away with. Get away with all of that. There we go. No, please, my lord. This is a little bit more like it. Should be in reinforcement range with one another. We've got another black ship. Put an end to this. And I guess actually what we could do is move this navy down over here so that I guess this is going to become a recruitment hub for us. Interestingly enough. So we'll go for a couple more units of Southron pikes because even though they're lower end, they are pikemen at the end of the day. And you can start moving down here. What is that? A ship we can kill. It's a weird technique that they've struck up. You go down that way. You're going to regret this action. It will spawn a doomstack. Well, it's going to spawn a doomstack anyway. I'm not just going to sit here for turns and turns and turns doing absolutely nothing just because a doomstack might spawn. It's not going to happen. What is all of this as well? It really is. It really does beg its belief. I'm really interested to see what's going on over here. Like, look at this. Like, look at the state of Gondor, and they're still like, nah, this is the most important part of the map for us. We're going for this. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I can give it a go, I suppose, and siege both settlements down. This game's starting to agitate me. And they've got a horrible army in there as well. I don't think it's going to matter, honestly. They're going to sally out. It was the invasions last time, and it's the bloody doomstack mechanics this time. Artificial difficulty at its finest. Ah, good. You finally get the message that you're being cannibalized. No one cares about Dumbledore. I don't think we beat that army, honestly, in the field. Yes. Not with this, because their cavalry just runs right over us. And that means we have to go back to bloody Methras with our tails between our legs again. We need both armies to take Dol Amroth. I mean, if a faction only gets one doomstack, then Dol Amroth's doomstack has already come and gone. It's done. But if it gets more than one... Right then. I don't like the doomstacks, Val, I've got to be honest. One I could understand, but stacks upon stacks when the faction's on its knees, not for me. It's not a question of not sieging it, though. If I go over there, they will sally out and they will win that battle. The choices are, we either retreat to Methrast, or we use both armies to take Dol Amroth. If it's a weaker doomstack, then I will take that. But I need some actual information here. There is going to be no sending one army this way and one army up there, because that army that's in there will crush one sieging army. The cavalry is just too strong. I can't land troops at their port, Kobe. I don't have any troops nearby. I can't magic units up out of nowhere. There are two choices. There is no third option here. Both armies go for Dol Amroth. Both armies go home. And that's it. I mean, to be fair, between these two armies, like, I've got some decent units in there, especially in like this one. I've got a couple of Ar-Adunaim. It's not perfect, but this is the situation I've been in. Yeah, I'm just going for Dol Amroth, to be honest with you. I don't care if it's a bad idea.
As you wish.
Yes, my lord.
With honor. For war then. Beginning the siege.
There we go.
Siege force reporting.
Actually, for
Your orders.
one thing that I could do,
Yes.
if I transfer a few more of these troops into there.
Joining.
Your orders, my lord.
No mercenaries, of course. Okay, hang on a minute. And is there anything else I want to do? Hostilities cease between Dale and Dorwinion. They seem to go to war a surprising amount. Go for that. Farazon. As soon as that's up, we'll see if we can actually build some trollmen units and send them to the front line. Ooh, a large town. That'd be nice if we can actually hold on to this bloody place. Okay, let's see what happens. Hey, Kenobi. Thank you. Very kind of you again. Well, technically it's Gondorian troops fighting Dol Amroth. I don't actually have any straight up Dol Amroth troops yet. Yeah, I can understand that, Val. And I can understand multiple ones for Gondor because Gondor is so big. And if you waited until it only had 3 settlements left before you spawned a Doomstack, that's useless to Gondor because by that point they're already done for. Western Moria besieged.
Marching to war.
Right, hold on a moment.
The siege goes as planned. To war then.
How is that not reinforcement range? I really just... It really is starting to get on my nerves. I've got a spy down in Harad. I don't want to wait for 9 turns though, Val. It's so slow. And the reinforcements are right there. Like, look at this. Apparently that's not reinforcement range. I can't even get any closer. It's physically impossible. Yeah, it is, Val, but like, how is this not reinforcement range? I cannot understand it. Well, Gondor at least seem to be backing off and finally have gained a little bit of self-preservation.
Ships ready. And the grapples
That's stupid. That's such a terrible way of doing it.
Your orders, my lord.
I guess we're just going to sit here and wait. How entertaining. I don't like being this salty, but the game is just bending me over and having its way with me at this point. I don't even know if you can land there. Can you get out there? I'll give it a go. I'm going to assume not, because I bet they made the map with this very thing in mind.
Yes, my lord.
Those are cliffs as well, aren't they? Yep, they're cliffs. So it's a moot point, really, because I can't even embark from that position. Hey, Owen. I know Medieval 2 is an old game, but come on now. Okay. Cliffs, 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 as far as the eye can see. So yeah, we're not going to be able to disembark him. Yeah, we're just going to have to sit there. As frustrating as that is. Nearly building the upgrades there, building stuff there. Yeah, but Uriel, it doesn't... The issue isn't that I can't take a Thalond. I'm sure I can. But as soon as I move Gimmelkard's army away, they sally out and crush this other army here. Have a little look. How far do we actually have to move to get there, though? No, we can actually get there, okay. Right then.
Yes, my lord.
Hmm. Okay. Let's... get Gimmelkard to take all of the garbage with him. And we will move all of the good stuff over here to this captain stack. That will probably be useful over here. As will that. And that. Trash. Trash. God damn, this is going to be an absolutely garbage army if he gets intercepted on the way. It's going to be painful for him. You two. Would be really good to have that ballista right now. Right then. Right, well, Gondor seems to be backing off there as well. What I really need is stuff to build. Right, you're still not happy, so I'll build you... Fine, I'll build you a bath. How about that? And Tal al-Jaf. Could build a conscription camp there, I suppose. One more turn until that's done. Okay, I'll just wait. They're not sallying out. That's surprising, actually. I know there's no garrison in Khaldun. But, I think it's just because I forgot to build a dark shrine there early on, and so the culture has been changing really slowly. Right, if they're just going to continue to siege me down with that one army, I need to sally out and actually kill them, because otherwise it's going to be a situation where I have to surrender. Mordor armies are arriving now, so Gondor are finished out here. Actually done for because they sent too many units down here. That's something else that I actually should be doing right now. Yeah, there's rioting in Khaldun. Right, okay. You asked for it then. Have some trash tier units. Right. Army barracks so we can start building some pikemen. Go over there. What is that? A load of trash, really. And we're just continuing to take attrition, so I've had enough of this. You have 2 generals in Umbar. Oh yeah, that was because of the engagement. And right. So they've got trebuchets. Well, I mean, this is actually a good opportunity, I think, because they're probably going to back off. Right, as for everything else, archers. Right, we don't have those crossbows anymore, taking up a valuable slot. And marines. God, I wish you didn't have to do this after every single battle. Something there, yeah. Okay. And that, I think, is just about all we want to do. Okay. And you. Alright, yeah, you're over here as well. Yeah, they're going to try and retreat. Mordor actually concerns me less, because if there's only one enemy that we can push through, and the fact we don't have to deal with like little mechanics here and there to prevent them from being crushed, at least in Gondor's territory, I don't really see much of an issue arising there. Then again, I've been wrong before. Isengard's issue in the last campaign, though, wasn't so much their units, it was the fact that they had been allowed to balloon to an incredible size while I was still small. It wasn't so much their army compositions. That was an issue because their units have got such high armour. Jesus. My general's probably going to die in that volley. Such has been my luck so far, although actually they just about managed to avoid. How does a trebuchet crew survive that charge? Everything about this game just seems designed to make your life just a little bit more awkward than it should be in reality. Here we go. General's death. Oh no. How about that? Truly, I am surprised. Right, kill them, would you? And let's see here. Where are you? Okay, you go that way then.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
Okay, good. I mean, I'm not going to take the heartland of Gondor before Mordor does because it's been too slow. Like, I can't have my cake and eat it too. I can't take my time, like, sieging down a settlement for 9 whole turns and take Gondor quickly. Like, it's one or the other. And at this point it's too late anyway to take Gondor quickly. Mordor are going to take most of it. Most of the good bit anyway. I mean, they should have been focusing on Mordor all along. I think it just goes to show how poor the AI is at decision making. Like, they lost Minas Tirith and they were still sending stacks down to Linhir. The time for no longer focusing on me happened several turns ago. More than that, even.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Okay. I don't actually share that many borders with Mordor at the moment. Now, I do share one on the southern side of the mouth of the Anduin, which is kind of awkward. But, like, honestly, I'm not that worried. Like, by the time I'm facing Mordor, I will have, hopefully, a base of production that means it's not such an issue. But, we'll see about that. Every time I think that I've got myself into a nice position, the game is always like, hey, how about this full stack from nowhere?
We've captured the enemy's general. That'll teach the cowardly dogs.
Yeah, his head's going to be departing company from his shoulders. No.
Behold how our cowardly
No.
runs. It's time to press the attack.
Kill absolutely all of them. No, well, Pelagia might have already fallen to Mordor. I mean, at the very least, Mordor won't be sending massive amounts of navies after me, and even if they do, they get, like, what, mercenary cogs?
Awed by the victory we have won
Which are
here today.
awful in comparison to my ships. Ugh, excuse me. Yeah, you brought that upon yourselves. Hey, Sard. And right then. So what else were we going to do? I think nothing, right? I think that was all we could do. We got a lot of money from that, though. Already building something there. You know what? Hold on. I've got an idea. We have got family tree. So Gimilcard and Farazindil. Okay. There we go. Just so Harad get the message that this is now mine forever. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, don't need you here. Khaldun is rioting. Cultural build policy. Still not happy. And what else do we have here? Not an awful lot. Not an awful lot that's important though either. What's that? That's fine. Should be able to kill that, shouldn't I? Oh, I don't have enough movement. Oh well. It's stuck there now. Right. I'm interested to see if we'll go there. Prince Adrahil. That's the big guy himself. But this is probably a thing with 1,600 losses. Excuse me? Very reasonable. Very reasonable. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, then we shall continue the siege, won't we? Maintain the siege. Maintain the siege. What else can we build? A couple of units of you actually probably wouldn't be too bad. Still building stuff absolutely everywhere, but everything is so slow at the moment. We need more things. Need a ballista maker somewhere up here as well. Umbar's so far away from civilization. Yeah, we'll build one of you there as well. Okay. 1,600 losses. I've seen it all now. How does Mordor even win any auto-resolves when they've got trash units then? It's not that I'm worried about, Val. If they've got Royal Swan Guard in there, which I assume Adrahil is, they'll just laugh in the face of all my units that I've got there because it's mostly really, really poor quality stuff. This has been the most frustrating part of this campaign so far, to be honest with you, because I wanted to make progress, and once again it's like, no. You will not be making any progress today. Right, good, good, good. I mean, we could go for this as well. Our Farazon's faithful, up here on the front line. We're going to do that, actually. Right now. How did you manage to get around me? That's an Alcarondas galleon, so it's maybe not the sure thing I figured it could be. Right, what can we build here now? Yes, there we go. Trollman. They take 3 turns to make, but we can have a whole nother force that we can move to the front line. Talon Knights, which are about as good as the Ar-Adunaim armsmen. How's he able to... I mean, I know this army's not brilliant, but... We need more units. Cavalry militia will go up to this captain stack here. Go into dry dock. Is there anything else we can actually build? Ardamir, we're already building something in Methras, and Gobel Tolfalas. Numenorian armourer. That would be quite nice. Gondor infantry. What can we actually build here at the moment? Right, Rosadan units. Which we shall do. 1-1. And so we'll go for another black ship. Why not? We've got the money to at this point. Bit of naval domination. And yeah, we'll go with that. We'll get rid of the negative public order consequence when we move Gimmelzor out of here. Honestly, down here at this point, I don't really feel the need to actually build much of anything down here now. But we will build some of the higher end units, I suppose, and get ready to move up with them. Right then. Okay. They don't want to charge out of their settlements, which is understandable, I guess. Yeah, I know that, Val, but our Gimmelcard is like a 9-star general, which might have flicked over to 10 in the course of the campaign. So I think it's probably just the fact that my units are so poor. It might even be worth... I'm just considering something here. That army that I'm effectively building up in Harad's capital, it might be worth me sending it by sea all the way over to the western edge of Gondor as it stands. You two. You're already full though, aren't you? Yes. So in that case... Well, just in case they sally out, having a little bit of extra cav would not go amiss. Kill them. Blockade that. Reblockade that. That's a little bit concerning, but hopefully they're just passing through. And what else can we do? That's a good point. I keep forgetting that this guy has just been sat here doing absolutely nothing for ages. Fangorn reached. Still waiting on that to be built. Right, we can build something else here as well. Public fountains. I mean, yeah, probably... What is the actual culture of this place now? Yeah, we should probably start building some of these better shrines around in certain areas. Okay. Can we recruit mercenaries? No, there's no mercenaries to recruit. Yeah, Tolfalas doesn't get me that much money though, your enemy's friend. So it's not really worth unblockading it, really. Someone told me to send that up to this side of Khazad-dûm, so I'm doing what they told me to. So if they've given me incorrect information, wouldn't be that surprised. Everyone seems to have an opinion. There's mines, isn't there, though, in the dwarven settlements? Ooh, how charming.
We stand vigilant as the enemy surrounds us.
Dol Guldur is besieged. Absolutely no one cares.
Be gone.
That's an army of mostly garbage, though. Bayon's Hall is besieged. We're depleted. I'll give it that. We actually have enough room for it. Well, no, because we want to keep one clear, don't we, for the garrison units. Ugh, but it's barely even worth building these guys if you have to move them all the way out, like, especially from Umbar. He's been out here doing absolutely nothing for ages. Sure, I guess I'll just put him over there and then forget about him. He probably won't be doing anything for the rest of the campaign. Right, they can just keep doing their thing. What's in here then? Generals. Crazy amounts of cav. There's a Hobbit farmstead in Anduin too, is there? Where?
At your service.
I'll just put him there.
I shall continue tomorrow.
Trollmen. We can build Hashari blades as well. It's not bad. Okay. How is one ship able to blockade a port? You don't know the size of the port, to be fair. It might just be a couple of berths. Probably not in Dol Amroth's case though. But you know. Go on, Gondor, assault Lynn here. You know you want to. No messing around. Straight in. Nope, they are just going to siege it down. Wonderful. You love to see it. Boy, that full stack sure wouldn't be useful anywhere else. Hashari, 2 turns to recruit them, or just the 1 to recruit a couple of pikes. I think we'll go for these actually, because we just need some numbers on this this fleet here, and then we can start moving forwards. Over here, go for a couple more pikes actually. Up here, construction report. So yeah, Baradhan and Khaldun. Yeah, we'll go for the happiness. And Khaldun, I don't think there was actually anything worthwhile building over here, was there? Well, shipwright, I suppose. We've got so much money now that we can actually afford to start building some of these more extravagant buildings. Sure. The big army you're making is for Harajam? No, we're going to sail a portion of it out. We're going to leave a fairly big garrison over here in that town, and then we're going to send a fleet over here so we can start basically going after Gondor from this side as well, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a slog. What is this? Yeah, go ahead and do it. See what it gets you. Okay. Right, hopefully they actually attack, because if they are just intent on sieging us out, they really don't have the luxury of time to do that, but... I think the attrition's getting more serious for them, because you can actually see it visually decrease now every turn. Gondor being at the end. Ah, there we go. Good. Right. They've got a lot more men than we have, but a lot of this is made up of like farmhand pikemen and stuff, so they're clearly panicking and spending it all on mercs. Right then. They do have some artillery, which is a concern. But we do have the ability to go out this way as well. Okay. Go like that. Right, Rosadan. 1 unit of Rosadan can go over here anyway. The others can go here. I hate this settlement for deployment. Most of them are bad, I know, but we'll have to just wait out the artillery strikes, I think. We'll just have to wait and see what they do, I suppose. Okay, let's see where this takes us. Going to be waiting out the artillery first of all. Haldir, poor Haldir. Taken from us too soon. Jesus.
The enemy are through the walls. Fight on. They must get no further.
This poor unit of Axeman. I mean, I fully expect them to just sort of wedge themselves into a couple of choke points again, and ultimately our quality should see us through there. Ow. How dare you. My pikes as well. We're also getting to the point now, though, where recruitment isn't going to be as big of a pain in the arse as it has been, because we're going to be able to recruit stuff like our Pharazon's Faithful actually in a relevant part of the world. Ar-Adunaim armsmen as well, of course. Don't want to lose any Royal Guard if we can help it. This town's also getting upgraded as well, so hopefully we'll have something a little bit more substantial than these awful palisade walls. Yeah, catapults clearly the strongest unit in the game. Confirmed. Sauron no match for good old-fashioned artillery. Here we go. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. So now... No, come on. There you go. I knew you could do it. I believed in you. Mostly. Nadabarweeb. Baruthiel's Watch can get into that position. Azraziah Marines can move forward here and maybe do what I tell them to do. Like so. Royal Guard, like so. Okay. That should be what we need. Exactly what the situation calls for. Good, good, good. Don't know how useful our crossbows are going to be, but no matter. Yeah, it would be thematic to fight Sauron in the late game. That's not where I told you to be, so if you could, you know, get into place before they push through us like we're not there, that would be really nice. Okay. Excellent. Catapult crew in fighting as well. Oh, they're routing even. That definitely did the job. And they actually trampled that catapult crew. It's a shame they didn't do that last time.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them.
Gimilcad taking the ring for himself. And so the cycle begins again. Ooh. Yeah, get in there and charge into them, actually. Yeah, go after the ballista crew. They're back. Fresh and ready to go. They're actually pushing right through there, which is a little bit concerning. But yeah, we need to get you actually going after something useful, not feeding on scraps. I don't know what you're doing in there, but now that you are, you're in melee. Okay, that should be the shove they need to start falling apart. Although I'm not so sure. God, that's such a bad charge. You had plenty of run up and you still, that's what you deliver? No wonder you don't use horses that often. You're bloody terrible with them. Again, that was absolutely dreadful. Okay, so we got some breaking and fighting to the death, which is just what we want. Just fire at will, Gimilthon. The amount of babysitting you have to do with crossbows is crazy. Like, they're barely worth using because of that. Right, get into a position here, literally perfectly setting you up for a charge, and if you fail me again, well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Last thing we need is Gimilthon dying as well. That was... I killed a few of them there. Yeah, we're going to need more units on this city as well. That's the problem with having two armies having to do the work of finishing off Dol Amroth. Right, that's the last thing we need. No ballistae allowed, I'm afraid. How many of your unit are actually firing? Because I bet it's like 3 with the amount of ammunition you're actually using. Yeah. Go after those archer militia, I guess, if we can get up and around. There we go. Well, that's annoying. Again, one guy managed to break up that charge. Come on. Gimilthon's probably going to get killed at this rate. That's going to be a terrible charge as well. Like, they're just walking into melee. It's so frustrating. Even sword cavalry can do well as long as they actually get up to charge speed and don't just lazily bump into the enemy. It's not looking good. Not looking good at all. If our cavalry would actually do its job, we would be laughing here, but... it's so slow as well. Regroup. Oh, those pikes are going to block our charge as well. I know they're melee knights, but they're still cavalry. Like, you can still get good charges off, but they just, as soon as the enemy are near, they slow to a crawl. Oh, they're going to have their charge interrupted again. I don't believe it. I don't believe this. We're actually going to lose. Should never be happening in a situation like this. Another reload. I'm tired of this. Really, really tired of this. Again, that wasn't a charge, that was just walking into the enemy.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
How slowly are you actually firing? Don't think I've shaken my head more in a part so far. Even in the Lothlorien campaign, I don't think I was actually this internally frustrated. Again, you've stretched out because several of your unit are just travelling way, way too slowly. Again, that's not a charge, that's pathetic. Again, what is this? I can't even charge into a unit that's doing this properly. Because that's not where the actual unit is. Reforged has got better cavalry in general. For some reason, I don't know what they've done to it in DAC, but it is so unresponsive. It feels like vanilla Med 2 in the way that it works. And that leads me to believe they've done nothing to the cavalry. I don't know what Reforged have done, but it feels way quicker.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
Again, that's so bad. It's so bad. The cavalry, I swear. Right, charge up there. Right, do something useful. You can only run down units. You're shocking at everything else. We're going to win, but at what cost? We're not going to be able to hold this town for a second time. Just hunt down units that you can actually kill. There's no point in sending you in to charge anything because you're so bad at it. Get back in the town. In a timely fashion as well. Lothlorian's cavalry were better than this. They occasionally got a nice charge. Okay, I'll give you another chance. How about a charge? Hey, that was actually a charge. You finally did it. Well done. Okay then. Is Rohan at war with Mordor already? No idea. Okay, that was an actual charge as well. 2 in the late game when it's substantially less important. I've actually got a headache now. That's crazy.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours. The enemy army flees.
No, we need to kill all of them here.
Run them down.
Many as we can anyway. Go after those Gondor spearmen. They've got loads of chevrons at least, so they look impressive on paper. Okay, and finally, last but not least, them. This point in the campaign almost makes me want to think, you know what, Sauron, you were right all along. I'm not going to go after you. I'll just keep going up the coast. It's an option. I want to go after Mordor, but we'll see. That's weird. They actually turned back to face the music for a second there.
Our foe is utterly vanquished. Let all who remember this day remember it.
Only 500 losses. Could be much worse. That was basically a full stack, even if it was of more basic units. So, you're not getting a single one of them back. Hope it was worth it for you, because Mordor's going to ravage you now. I hope. A suitable husband, yes. Mordor Supreme. Took them a while to actually get that. Got that way. Our old stomping grounds. Right then. We want you in there. We want all of you in there. And I guess we can have a contingent of Azra-Zair in there as well, so that we have the basis of like a full army. Right, and now we'll start moving out over here. So we should have... No, actually, he's not down here. That's quite interesting. Right. You all embark there. And start heading over here. And we'll sort of make a unified front. Right, so where is... You're not all that happy. So we have, apparently, allegedly, a new general somewhere, which is actually here. And I'm going to keep him garrisoned here at the moment, to be honest with you, because he's going to be way more useful to us, and we need more units here now. So we're back to building Azra-Zair. Right then. They're so depleted at this point. What about this over here? I don't know, 3 turns until surrender? What's that? That's a whole lot of nothing is what that is. We'll keep you garrisoned up here, and we'll pick up a few more units on the way, I think, including you two. Anything we can build? Right, Gobel Nerlond. We want that so that we get less public order and or fewer public order problems. And yes, we'll have that. That's a good point actually. Can we make... Yes we can! Gondor infantry. Nice. And considering the situation as it stands now, I'll go for a couple more units of territorial guardsmen. And that, I believe, is going to be that. Actually, we can recruit some more units here. Another unit of territorial guardsmen. We'll go for another Azrazair warrior as well. In fact, we'll go for some archers, because we haven't seen them yet. Let's see what horrors Gondor want to inflict on us with that army in Tarnos. We defeated a Doomstack, Tropic Thunder. Whether it is the Doomstack or not. They're going that way. Impotently blockading ports is not going to save you. Honestly, if Gondor weren't going for me every turn with like stacks, they would be so useful right now. Just to stave off the coming threat of Mordor. We have mission failed. Blockade Pelagia. Kadar, Farazindil and Kar Farazon. Ah, right. So with that we actually could start building very impressive things down here. Catapult makers. This, however, I think we're just going to turn into just a big old hub. I think we do have like a... There is like another level to the units we can make, right? You embark. What is this? Trash is what you are. There we go. Easy. Light work. Fleet. I guess we can't have that. Okay. Then you will move as a group. What are you? No, it's nothing too concerning. And right. That looks really cool. I really like the colour scheme for the Ar-Adunaim Gondor infantry. High defence. Very high defence. They're actually better against non-armoured units than our Abrazanim Nadu Tariq, but because we're facing off against other Gondorians primarily, it is rather interesting the fact that it's probably more worth our time to Your will, my lord. Actually, you... Okay, yeah, I think with that we'll put you in there with you. And then the 2 units over here we'll send just as a little potential reinforcement stack. Okay, so 2 more turns and we should be good. We've still got our diplomat somewhere, haven't we? Yes, we have. You go over to Bree. That's an Enid-Wythe army. And that is about all we can muster for now. Gonna build an army barracks there as well, which should mean as soon as we have the sufficient culture, some high quality units from there. Let's see what they want to do. Ah, Rui. Don't say that, your enemy's friend. The mighty fleet is probably en route as we speak. Interesting to see what Gondor have got a lot of scattered stacks over there, but I doubt they go after the besieging army at Athalond. Mordor won that battle. That's actually fairly humiliating for Gondor. They won that at least, but surprised that Mordor army's still alive, to be honest with you, but there it goes. Swimming backwards. One of the unknown abilities of orcs, I suppose. Lothlorien reached. I can blockade the port of Pelagia, but that's really a waste of my time. That will continue. Right, you. We will continue to go this way. And we got Dunland. Why not? Just in case Dunland recover. Well, Dunland actually took Alkfood, so probably is worth our time actually. Right, so next turn they will surrender. Don't you just love to see it? Now then, you. Do we actually have... Yeah, we do have an admiral. Right, this is an actual army. But we have this here, so we've got 4 units. So we need 3 more, basically, which we can pick up from Tol Falas. 3 more units, which will probably be these 3, I would imagine. Mathrast. Right. Yes, of course. Go that way. Right, we do actually need a dark shrine over here so we can start converting the culture over here as soon as possible, really. Other than that, I don't think there's really anything else to be done at this point in time. Perhaps at Lynn here we can build something. And we can. A market. And... yeah, sure, why not? We'll go for the... We just need to have numbers there so Gondor are not as tempted to try and attack it. I will probably invade Pelagia navally, yes, but the first location for my navies is going to be over here. Probably this town first. Because not only will that give us a border with Enidwaith, who we are technically trading with, as you can see. That is a long trade route indeed. But it also allows us to basically start eating away at Gondor from this side instead, which is probably going to be much less busy and should be easier for us. Dark shrines have dark jokes. Okay. Let's see then. There we go. Occupy. Occupy. Ah. That was a bruising encounter, to say the least. Right, so first things first, really. There's now a sort of renegade Dol Amroth army roaming around. We can take that independent fort in the Dol Amroth province. We should have drastically increased our economy by doing this as well. There's a big Gondorian army there, I see. I spy with my little eye. Are Harad and Khan still going at one another then? Because they're not doing anything. They're just sort of building units up. The Prince of Dol Amroth is dead. Another Prince of Dol Amroth is dead. Belfalas has fallen. The Jewel of Gondor, Dol Amroth, has fallen. These are grim tidings. Enemies now plunder the seaward tower and defile the house of the heirs of Galador. The wealth of the city is now in the hands of the foe. There's no telling where they will strike next. Though this is indeed a mighty blow, perhaps all is not lost. Battles are won by more than just numbers and weapons. It may be that the enemy has provided the men of Gondor with the determination and focus they need to begin a counter-attack. Dol Amroth diminishes. Ever it was foretold that the departure of the swans from the haven of Dol Amroth would signal its downfall. That day has come. Belfalas is now a bleak land, littered with the dead soldiers of Dol Amroth, their outposts burning, their royal line in tatters. The blood of the elves is all but spent, and the men of Dol Amroth are now weak and grim peoples, far from the feared knights they used to be. Ships of the Swan now call the bed of the great sea home, and the great white and blue banners of the once proud princedom no longer decorate the halls of Dor and Ernil. There seems to be no way back for the armies and royal line of Dol Amroth. Fornost assaulted. So there's this guy, who is just hanging out with his riders, I guess. We've got a ton of visibility now. Where'd that big Gondor stack go? Not down here, I don't think. Well, we could probably do with... Right, Dol Amroth is not happy. Because... hang on a minute. Oh yes, because we don't have a general in there. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? So we will not have it on just do whatever you want. Numenorian Foundry. That's nice. Right, yeah, we need a general over there as quickly as possible, really. Gimmelcard could probably do with being down there in all actuality, although he can't actually leave unless we can get him onto the boat, which we can. If we do embark him there, they're not thrilled about it, but they'll get over it. Especially if we get onto growth build policy. And yes, we want that. We want... what do we actually get from this? Yeah, Gondor units at the base. Numenorian Foundry sounds cool. Numenorian plates, so yeah, that's as good as we can get, really. Yeah, Dol Amroth is dead, the crab rave. Let's go for a Dark Sanctuary and then we'll go for the Public Fountains. I mean, I don't think it matters too much because Gimmelcard, you can go in and a unit of some description can come out. I guess you, because it's more likely that you can... okay, they're happy. That, I think, is, yeah, a perfectly free thwart. Right then. Thalond is making 81 gold per turn. That is atrocious. What's that? One boat? No, no, no. This ship can just hang out here, I guess. You can go down here and destroy them. And then go to Barad-Han, because Gondorian ships are probably going to come from this direction now. Gondorian Navy? I don't think so. We need to get you down there. And perfect. So these are the two navies we want to keep in a group because they both have the armies we want to keep moving. That's a damaged vessel. You can go back up that way. Okay. And construction report. Barad-Han and Ardamir. Anything economy-wise we can build? Yeah, it's something I clearly just forgot to do. Because I know you can turn that nonsense off, but I just forgot to do it. We'll go for an inn. We're getting cash now. That is a unit we need in as many places as humanly possible. We'll go for another merchant as well. Why not? And I think that's it. Okay, we'll save it there, and that will be where we leave off for today. That was frustrating, but in the end, Dol Amroth were finally broken and gone. One thing that I will do just before we leave, though, is we're under new management now. There we go. Much better. So, next time we will be sending a fleet with an army in it over to here, so we can start attacking Gondor from this side as well, and presumably ever closer we will draw to a confrontation of sorts with Mordor. I'm still a little bit concerned about Lynn here, to be honest with you, but we'll see. Hopefully we have enough to hold on to it, and we can actually start building stuff now in Methrast as well that we can send across to reinforce Lynn here, which I'll do now actually, just to save a bit of time. Just anything that is possible to reinforce Lynn here. So yeah. Why Gimilzor? Because Gimilzor was really responsible for our victories early on in the Bay of Belfalas, so it makes sense that this would be sort of his fiefdom later on, and also because Gimilcard has got his eyes on a somewhat bigger prize. But more on that later, hopefully. Potentially. That's why he named Fain Obel down here after his wife as well. But yes, that is pretty much what we're going to leave off on today. Again, a real tough one that was, because of various things. But hopefully we can now that we've got production facilities as well on the front line, or near to the front line, we won't be reliant so much on like low quality troops. And yeah, Nardu Tariq in particular, Tropic Thunder, like that's going to be one unit. Conscripted, plate wearing Gondor infantry as well. Like between those two, we've got a really solid front line. But in particular, our Pharazon's Faithful. As soon as we get a few units of them, I don't really feel as though we're in too much trouble. Tariq, Gimilcard. Well, we can talk about what we can. Tariq means tower or pillar. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. We actually did toggle FOW not too long ago, but so yeah, I think we'll leave off with toggle FOW for now, because we saw it not too long ago. We know pretty much where Mordor is. They haven't pushed past Minas Tirith yet. Pelagia is effectively Gondor's capital now, I suppose. So yeah, it was frustrating. I don't like being as salty as I was in this one, to be honest with you, but the game doesn't have to make it difficult sometimes. Yeah, it is what it is, but now hopefully we are in a position where we don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry. So yeah, as for what's coming up over the weekend, there is going to be another large-scale siege on Reforged, which is going to be the Sylvan Elf nations combined with the Reunited Kingdom nations to defend a rather large settlement. So a large-scale siege on Reforged is going to be coming out on Saturday, I think that one is. And on Monday there will be another Silmarillion scenario, not too dissimilar actually to the one that came out this previous Monday, only instead of Fingolfin on the defence, it's going to be Feanor. I wasn't in that one, but it is more or less the same sort of thing, once again made by Eclipse. So those are the two videos that we can that you can expect to see over the course of the weekend. There'll be 2 more streams next week, although I think next week it's fairly likely that I will probably have to move either the Wednesday or the Thursday stream to a different day. And I will communicate that ahead of time, of course, because I think I'm going to be going out on the boat on one of those 2 days. But we'll have to wait and see, because with how quickly things are moving, we could be in lockdown. Are you able to do the streams later? The reason I do the streams at this point is because it's kindest on my internet. I could look at doing the streams later. It's something which I could maybe try out next week on one of the days, just to see how it works. And if it doesn't go very well, if it starts to chug a little bit, then we'll just assume that it's not possible. But yeah, regardless, that's what's going to be happening. So a couple of sieges, one in Reforged and a scenario siege in Silmarillion over the weekend. Couple of streams next week. Don't know what days they'll be on yet because, like I said, there's probably going to be a little bit of traffic. And hopefully next week as well, I will do the channel update, because as soon as I know what day specifically I'm going out on the boat the first time, I'll be able to give basically a full schedule of what I'm going to be doing up until basically the new year, and well, basically up until February, at which point things become a little bit less clear again, but that doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were able to tolerate how salty I was in the middle part of this stream and not hold it against me too much. And yeah, I hope you will join me for whatever is next.